hello, my silky friends. How are you doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? And I know not everybody that listens to me about different topics agrees with Delphi. And I've had someone reach out to me like, look, we can disagree. It's okay. It's okay. And today I'm primarily going to be talking about Delphi and some stuff that we can do. Going to go over several things that I found and point you in the right direction. It's a long, long fight, okay? So I will be talking about some other things, some other cases, some other issues. Do you like these coffee talks? I really would like to go on earlier, but sometimes I have to get up like really early to take someone somewhere, and then I end up coming home and going back to sleep. So it is what it is. And I'm snotty. I do apologize. I don't know what's blooming, what's going on, but I have been snotty the last couple of days. Thank you also to you lovely people that reached out to me and said, hey, are you okay? After the verdict. I thought, I went back and I watched it and I was like, man, how did I react? And I'm like, oh, I think I held it together pretty good for what was going on inside. And I was like, okay. Let me say good morning. Good morning, Daniel Barry. Whoop, whoop. Jenny, good morning. Just me. Hello. How you doing? Samantha, good to see ya. Gloria, good morning. Hold on. I can't move this down anymore. Lisa, hello. Good to see ya. The royal, let's see, the royal wife? The royal W-E. The royal W-E. Hello. Good to see you. Let's see. Let me pull this down some more. My mouse is sticking today. Hello, Teresa. We'll never stop fighting for Rick and Kathy and Abby and Libby. Yeah, there's more victims now, right? Just more victims to deal with. Keep exposing the blatant corruption and crimes against humanity. I actually have stuff pulled up and some issues. You know, we were talking about North Carolina on verdict day. More stuff there and some other things that are just absolutely insane that I really want to talk about because, you know, here's the thing. Delphi is very heavy, and I feel like for all of us, I know for me, it has been this way. You have to kind of broaden out a little bit without losing your direction. I think that's the problem that I've had with Delphi, is that it's so intense for me, and then it's like I just need to back off for a while. And then I back off for what I feel like is too long. And I'm going to try not to do that. I'm going to try to keep Delphi very, very close. But it won't be the only thing I'm talking about. I'm going to be doing some members only lives. Probably try to do one this weekend. And if I can't get a good time, like, so I may have to just randomly do a members live, and you might not be live, but it will be there. Okay. I'm going to do a couple of those in the next few weeks. Sorry. It's been insane. So here we are. There's a lot that I want to talk about, and then I am going to talk about advocacy because I found some good links and some stuff, and have in mind a video that I want to do. It won't be a live, but that's going to take some time. So I'm just know in the background I'm working on something else as well. But yeah, I was looking through stuff yesterday. Okay, where do we go now? Where do we go? For those of us who believe that the evidence was complete crap, which it was, you know, that's my opinion. But let's look at some things. We're going to start with X, and then I'm going to start with some stuff, some emails and some sites, so we kind of know how to approach. Now, listening to Andrea Burkhart the other night, um, I had to say that I didn't understand. So let me clear up some questions, and you may have already heard this. You know, there were 4 counts of unaliving, and that it's considered in Indiana, and I hope everywhere. I really don't know that if they were to do all 4 counts, that would be double jeopardy. Okay, because so they are probably going to go for the felony unaliving, I'm sure. And then they were talking about whether the judge will run it consecutive or concurrent. If you don't know what that means, concurrent is when you have 2 different sentences, whether in this case it would be the felony. But let's say you had someone arrested and they had broken into a house, unalived the people there, and also taken stuff. You would have, you know, 3 charges at least. You'd have robbery, breaking and entering, and the unaliving. So when a judge is looking at multiple charges, then they can run it concurrent, which means, let's say you get 25 years for one and 50 years for another and 15 for something else. They can run it concurrent where you're doing it all together as one. So it would be the longest sentence would be, or they can do it consecutive, which means they add them up. I mean, y'all, let's just figure, okay? I think the felony unaliving, according to Andrea, was 65 years, but you have 2 of them, so the maximum sentence would be 130 years. Will she run them concurrent? I doubt it. I doubt it. She's probably going to run them consecutive, which will sentence him to 130 years. Now, he will be eligible for good time to reduce the sentence, but let's be honest, okay? 130 years. I would not expect any less out of her. So there you go. Let me go down here and see what you're saying. Yes. Hello, Trixie. Trixie's creations for you. What do you create, Trixie? There was no evidence, so the prosecution in a whole was complete crap. Yeah. We kind of figured that was going to be. Hello, Sherry Faye. How are you doing? We kind of figured that was going to be. I thought, honestly, forever that the prosecution was going to pull a rabbit out of their hat and show us things that we had, that were very damaging. I did not see that at all. Artist, hello. Good to see ya. Should he even appear for sentencing? Having to sit and listen to condemnation could send him back into psychosis. Yeah, I thought about that too, Jenny. Can you imagine? And then the family gets to say whatever they want to say to the judge before she makes her sentence. And I'm telling you, I don't know. That might be. We'll see. I think it's December 20th, 21st, somewhere around there is the sentencing, and he is, to my understanding, in Cass County Jail until then. That might be one episode that I do not care to see. I figure he'll get 130 years consecutive. That's my guess. I don't know. Yeah. What's going to happen to him? What's going to happen to Richard Allen when he goes back to prison and he's not being protected? I mean, of course, there's a lot of people in the prison system for very similar crimes, but he's so high profile. And then there is his mental state, right? What is going to happen? Okay, Trixie says, I make paper sculptures and cards, sublimate items too. Cool. Do you have a website or a YouTube channel or something? If you do, drop the link in the chat. Very interesting. I used to craft back when I had a life. Now my life is YouTube and Delphi. um, yes, a lot of us are never going to stop fighting. Uh, Samantha says, to be honest, I was gobsmacked with the verdict. Can't believe this could happen, even in Indiana. Yeah, I really kind of thought all the eyes watching was going to be a thing. And now, I mean, at this point, I don't know. I've heard rumors about one of the jurors and et cetera, et cetera. Um, were they compromised? I mean, I don't know. That's not a rabbit hole that I am willing to go down without more information. Now, if we have information, y'all know, down the rabbit hole we'll go. I'm not afraid of rabbit holes. Sometimes they turn out to be absolute nothing, and sometimes they turn out to be a whole lot of something. Hello, Don McKenzie. How are you? Glad to see you this morning. Is the sentencing going to be televised? I am very curious about that since the goal wouldn't let anything else be televised. I have to wonder because, in my opinion, it would be like her. It would be so like her to do this. The only thing she allowed to be televised was the day that she kicked Baldwin and Rozzi off the case. And all of a sudden, media attention was fine then, where she could humiliate them. Thankfully, the Supreme Court, if y'all don't know that story, if you're new to Delphi and you don't know that story, that was a whole dog and pony show. But yeah, I kind of expect it, to be honest. I don't want to see the sham televised. They cherry pick what they want to the detriment of an innocent man. They didn't prove anything, so keep it in the shadows. Yeah, I agree. I'd like to keep it in the shadows, but I have zero faith in our BS justice system. This case is the most egregious miscarriage of justice. Then look at the Karen Reed case, and Idaho 4 is full of corruption. Yeah, there's a lot of other things with that, and I know people are really divided on those cases. I don't know. I started digging into Karen Reed, and when I did, I was like, I don't think she did this. And then I've heard some other things, and I just stopped with Karen Reed, because I just couldn't do all of them. I do wonder about that one. Idaho 4, that's another one. I've thought, it's crossed my mind, should I start covering that one again? But you know what? I don't think my heart can take if I was convinced that Koberger was not the person, and I'm not convinced now that he is, but I'm on the periphery. Okay, so I don't have a lot of emotion and soul invested in that one yet. And I'm like, if he goes the same way as Richard Allen, can my heart take this? No. If I believe that he's innocent, I will say I've had sincere doubts from the very beginning because of the nature of the crime, and I feel that there's a very good possibility that it was completely different than what they're saying, but I don't know that for sure. Hello, RC99. I am quite optimistic for the gag lifting and sentencing. The floodgates will open, and it will be bad for the state. I hope so. I hope so. Trixie, I really wonder how these jurors are going to feel once they start seeing these channels. Yeah, and there's actually a meme I reposted on X about that. Yeah, and I do kind of feel sorry for him. I think some of them are going to be quite shocked. And I would hate to know that I was a juror doing the best that I could, trying to make the best decision, and then found out I had basically taken a man's life away from him. I definitely would. Uh, Samantha, hey, you know what? The jury played their parts well. Wonder if they were all professional actors. I wouldn't be shocked at this point. No, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. I'm going to listen to. I've got an interesting little clip that I found on X from Doug Carter. Again, I'm just rolling my eyes. Hello, Cassowary. That's not. I like that. Jury knows only the tip of the iceberg, plus the fact it was two young girls. I can see how they would go for this lame verdict. I mean, I guess if they thought they were really trying to find, I don't know. I guess, but I give up because you know what, Casso? My brain doesn't work the way apparently 99% of people's do. So I it doesn't matter to me who the victims are. I'm always looking at justice and truth. Um, because ultimately, the truth of who did this to Abby and Libby is all I care about. Um, yeah, shame on all of them, Samantha. I agree. Uh, let's see. Let me catch up with y'all. You're right, Jenny. From what I could see, I agree. Across the board, the public opinion was at least 75% not proven. And usually, when we watch a trial, it tracks. This time, it was absurdly off. Yeah, yeah. Um, like I said, there were people coming out of the woodwork looking at this trial saying, not guilty, not guilty. So, how did 13 people, 12 people in Indiana find him guilty? You got to wonder. Um, let's see. Good morning, Para Women Radio. By the way, y'all, I am not competitive at all. If you have a YouTube channel or you have a website or whatever and you want to put it on here, let us know who you are. Let's get to know you. Throw it in the comments because I feel like the more the merrier. We are people who want justice are a team. We are not competitors. I compete with no one. So yeah, even like you do crafts and stuff. Hey, that's great. Let's get to know each other. Because this is a long haul. This is a long fight. We need to be there for each other. Um, let's see. We must do everything possible to stop. Yes. And we are going to, I'm going to show you some ways. We're going to start. We're at the starting point. And this is where I think for a lot of people who just started following the Delphi case basically before it started because they watch, court TV, they watch different stuff and they're like, oh, I'm interested in crimes. And they start hearing about this one and they don't know the long, deep, dark side of this case. And they don't know about all of the tentacles and they don't know about all of the things that the judicial system has already done. I don't even know how it was allowed. Okay, so they're just looking at, you've got tons of people out here just looking at the evidence and saying, how? How did they find him guilty? And I think sometimes in the back of people's minds, they think, oh, there must be something else that I don't know about. And this is the reason that they feel he's guilty. There must be some, I would think there's got to be something I'm not saying that people know that, I'm not catching in this. Because when you look at the evidence presented in court, you're like, what? What? Are you kidding me? So, yeah, there's a lot of places. If you are coming across someone who is upset with the verdict and they don't know the whole story, we're going to talk about how to get them started. It is a huge rabbit hole. And it's hours and days and months and, whatever of studying this case. Um, let's see. Does the defense now need to solve a crime in order to prove a man in the chair is innocent? Exactly, right? Right? That's the thing. Yes, Casso, the real perps are still out there. They sure are. Hello, Courtney. How are you? Um, good morning, good morning. Let's see. I heard that yesterday. I did. Who was I listening to? Oh my gosh, I heard this on the way to work. It's being said Ellie were seen with members of the jury socializing. Now the source that I heard that from said that they had pictures, but they didn't know the timeline. Was it before the jurors actually were, you know, finally chosen, sworn in, whatever? Was this just like, or was it during the trial? Because if it was during the trial, yeah, that is a whole. Well, I mean, not only is it illegal, but then on one hand, I say that we know you can't do that. On the other hand, it's Indiana. You can do whatever you want in Indiana. Uh, oh, you use some? Okay, I'm gonna have to check out your. Are you on YouTube or are you on are you podcast? We used some of your content last week. That's fine. My content, except for my older stuff, and it's not like I'm going to do anything about it. I don't even care. My older stuff, I'd have to go through every single video and change it to Creative Commons. But everything I've done in the last 6 months, at least, is Creative Commons. Anybody can use my stuff. Um, it's nice. It's nice if somebody, says where it's from, but yeah, whatever. There's no, what is it, the saying, there's no such thing as bad press. It's still press. That's, yeah. And I would look, if you I'm going to check out your channel. Maybe we can do something together. Maybe we can have a panel or something. That'd be nice. Okay. Hello, Don McKenzie. At first, when they arrested Rick, I thought he might have been guilty, but after keeping up with the trial, I feel as though he's innocent now. Hopefully, he gets an appeal. Yeah. I think that's kind of where I want to go with the video. I started out like everybody else, Don, believing that he was guilty. That didn't last very long, though. Yeah, the defense, Teresa, I agree. The defense were the only ones seeking the truth. Jenny says I was sucked in by Carter and his seeming care for the girls. Yeah, he can be convincing sometimes. I'm so glad I caught you live. Oh, hello, Danielle. Hello. Sherry Faye. Lawyer Lee said it was the confession he did to his mother when he was in Cass County Jail and the van. I mean, I know a lot of people have. Here's the thing, Sherry, and I know we disagree on this, and y'all, it's okay. It's okay. Let me just say, I love Sherry to death. I really do. And we can disagree on this, but just from me and my medical background, knowing, and I think what was his name? He had a funny last name. The last guy that testified, started with a G, I think. Anyway, when someone goes into psychosis, this is my problem with it and why I don't buy any of it. Because I've had so many patients in psychosis in jail, and when you go into psychosis like that and then you have all these suggestions and you're saying things, it becomes, or it can become, a truth to you. Okay, so then you actually believe you did something that you didn't do. And that's what the last guy for the defense was saying. Like, this is pretty common when you are in this state and then you actually believe it, almost becomes like a story, almost becomes like a memory in your head that this happened. These are false memories and stuff because your brain is very intricate. Just think of your computer, how it does some weird stuff sometimes. Um, that's why I never relied on his confessions. I never even considered his confessions because in that moment of psychosis, you can't, even when they come down and they're calm, everything has been rewired, kind of. You know what I'm saying? So to me, knowing that his mental state, if he were the perpetrator, then there would have to be some physical evidence that backs it up as well. Not anything that he said under duress or under in that state, okay? So, and this is from a strictly medical view of mine and knowing my patients who have been in jail and have been in solitary, and I have seen them do the same thing: eat from the toilet, smear stuff on the walls, seen it all. Um, and yeah, they're just different. They're different when they come out of that. And then you go into what pharmaceuticals was he still on afterwards. But yeah, he may have completely believed he did it. But if he did it, there would be some physical evidence, and that's why I don't buy it, Sherry. Um, Hello, Jaded Empath. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do some stuff live because now I'm working Monday through Friday at night, so I can't go live at night except on the weekends. But I love coffee talk. We're gonna cover a lot of different things. Um, yeah, Teresa, there's another rabbit hole that people don't know about. Those lyrics, right? The lyrics to that, or he says lyrics to a song that nobody can seem to identify that there ever were lyrics like that. Definitely very sus. Um, Nancy H. Hello, hello. Mullins was one of the bailiffs supervising the jury. He's all over this farce. Well, he is a farce, in my opinion. Uh, yeah. See, even you have to wonder. I hope one of the jurors, especially if there is a juror or two that comes out and finds all this information that they weren't given, I'm hoping that they'll break their silence because there's no reason that they can't unless they're being intimidated. But that doesn't happen in Indiana, does it? No. Um, I'd like to know what their thought process was, and if any little remarks. See, that's the thing. When people are coming in and going out of the courtroom, you don't know. You're not talking to someone, but somebody can remark, and then you're like thinking, you know what I'm saying? There's so much thing goes with that, and if you didn't have the same dang players involved, then it wouldn't be a thing. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone because I'm supposed to have somebody coming over to measure for carpet. So if I have to make an emergency exit, I'll be right back. But I haven't gotten a call yet. All right. Hello, John Smith. No, I think that was taken off a while back. 30 years, to my understanding, and I believe that Gold will give him that. Oh, okay. Trixie, allegedly speculating. Shared your. Allegedly speculating. That's a channel I haven't heard. Huh. Okay. From the The prof. Yeah, I wish that I had known the prof was going live when I did on verdict day. He probably would have kept me from. I don't know. He was really good with that verdict. I mean, not good that the way it turned out, but I was like dying inside. I wish I had him. We were doing a show together. Then I would have just said, "Okay, you take it. I need 5 minutes to go and scream." Um. All right. Let's see. Lisa says similar. Why can't I talk this morning, y'all? Similarly, whatever. It was similar. Fraudulent trials are described in this book. Cover up of the century. I will just say SR, Crime and World Conspiracy by Daniel Ryder. I'll have to check that out. Uh, you know, I just feel like just think of all the things that we have seen so far in 2024. If you followed some of my older videos about exposing the church corruption, and I've still got some videos I need to do on that to catch up. But and then you got P Diddy and all this kind of stuff. I think it has been an amazing year for crimes to, things to come to light, and that's great. And y'all, if you don't know about the church, like I'm not bashing churches in general, okay? I am a Christian person who absolutely hates corruption, and I don't care where it's at. If it's in the church, I'm gonna yell about that and rant and expose that as well. So just so you know, uh, Danielle says, yeah, you're right, Danielle. One confession should have been enough. And had he not been in a state of psychosis or had any of these issues, and he just, he said he came to know Jesus and all this kind of stuff, and he wanted to confess. Like, if that had been without all of the other, you know, stuff going on, I would say, okay. But then I also believe in there he would have given evidence. He would have been in his right mind to give true evidence that no one else knew. I can think of things that have come up that we know it exists. We know it was at the crime scene. And we also know that they thought it could be related to another case, the Stevenson case, and they finally decided it wasn't. But if we don't even know what that artifact was, that thing that the police were looking for, and they were trying to connect it to Richard Allen, but they couldn't because he had already been arrested. But they're like, oh, well, hold up. Stevenson, they reached out and they're like, hey, we've got this thing. Well, apparently something similar was in Delphi. Now, if Richard Allen, in my opinion, if he was the perpetrator and he knew all these details, he would know exactly what that was, and it would have been brought out in court. So I just think it's a bunch of horse feathers. Uh, uh, yeah, a lot of the stuff I think was generic. Let me catch up with. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind in chat, y'all. I'm sorry. Um, uh, USA Libertarian. What if juries could ask neutral experts technical questions during deliberation? Yeah, that would be great. I mean, because you really do know as a juror that whatever side presents an expert witness, they're going to lean towards them. And I mean, if you don't know that, then you don't understand how it works. But um, yeah, after he'd been there for like 6 months, maybe a psycho or a socio or psychopath as well. I'm gonna tell you something. Jail changes you. Um, I've seen a lot of people change, unfortunately. Actually, most of them become better criminals. Um, some of them do change, like drastically, who they are. But no, usually they stay pretty much the same with whatever crime they are in there for to start with. They just get better. They just learn how to do it better. Eventually, they show back up in jail, though. So, um, Jenny says, my son, who is autistic, comes up with stories from when he was a kid that didn't even happen. Not something that actually happened and very benign, like something with a party that he was at that he wasn't. It's weird. My kids are grown now, but they often have told me things that, we went to here. Don't you remember this place? And I'm like, no, that didn't happen. And they're like, yeah, it did. I'm like, I don't know. It wasn't with me. And it was benign. It's just like, no, I don't even know a person like that. Never have. All right. I am so far behind. I'm on catch up. Let's look at some things because what time is it? I have to, I have maybe an hour, before I have to leave the house and go pick up my daughter. So let me look here. I found this interesting. We're gonna hit some of these and talk about this, and then I'm gonna show you how we can help. How can we help? All right. I thought this was interesting though. Before I turn the sound on, this is talking about DNA. I wish I knew which, and this is from JY2K. I sure wish I knew what year this was.
I know that we have the human element. We have a very solid science element. We're using every capable process that we have from a scientific perspective, as everyone would expect us to, and we will continue to do that until there's nothing left to do.
Would that include DNA?
It does.
Was DNA found at the scene?
It includes DNA. I know that we have the human element.
Okay, I don't know why it's so low on here, but this is an interview that Doug Carter did where they asked, is there DNA? And he said, yes, there is DNA. Well, it wasn't Richard Allen's, was it? The only DNA that we know for sure is Kelsey's and some male DNA that we have no idea who it is. And, random DNA. We don't know who it is, but we do know it's not Allen's. I wanted to bring this up, too. A few things I wanted to look. Let me see. Yeah, okay, good. That's make sure y'all can see this. Going back to the PCA. The PCA. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for y'all. Come on now. No, it's not gonna let me. Dadgummit. Let's see if I can move this over. There we go. All right, if you remember some of the stuff, I'm going to have to get my glasses out. Y'all, I can't even see. All right. Investigators believe that Richard Allen was the last individual to have contact with the girls. All right, this is Detective Liggett. Again, this is part of the PCA, and if y'all are new to reading PCAs and stuff like that, this PCA was ridiculously the PCA was ridiculously lame. If you want to look at a brilliant PCA, and that's the probable cause affidavit that arrested Rex Heuermann, the Long Island SK, it is a work of art and the way a PCA should be. But, no, not this one. Detective Liggett has been a member of law enforcement for 21 years. In his role as deputy and as detective, now he's sheriff, he has investigated numerous crimes, including unalivings. He has been trained in how to investigate offenses such as unaliving. Well, you'd think you could come up with a better evidence than this, but it talks about his training. This right here. In many of those cases, evidence of the crime is on the individual's cell phone. That evidence includes location evidence in relation to the offense, pictures or videos taken during or after the offense, and evidence in furtherance of the crime or in an effort to hide their participation in a crime. Well, we know that Patrick Westphal was very much a suspect. Of course, his interview, they accidentally, taped over it. Oopsie. When he brought his phone in to Ellie, he only had a few days worth of data on it. It had been either scrubbed, a new phone, whatever. It only had a couple of days. And they never investigated further. Now, for those of you who don't know, who aren't familiar with Frank's motion, Patrick Westphal, Brad Holder, Elvis Fields, and Johnny Messer were very much suspects, according to the original investigators, not these Carroll County investigators. Whatever. I've got not the Keystone Cops, okay? But their stuff was never looked at. And of course, RA's doesn't show anything. But even here, they're saying, oh, okay, yeah, he knows about this. And usually it is the cell phone that causes the problem. Okay. Detective Liggett also knows that individuals tend to download their photos onto other electronic devices or use their cell phones in conjunction with other electronic devices, including iPads and computers. Yeah, sometimes they just like to post pictures on Facebook, don't they? Of kind of a recreation of the crime scene that nobody knew about. Oh, but the jury didn't hear that. That wasn't Richard Allen. I'm just saying. All right. Detective Liggett believes the information gathered from witnesses, video evidence, and admissions by Richard M. Allen is reliable. Okay, I've got some property I need to sell you, Liggett. Richard M. Allen places himself at the trails and specifically on the Monon High Bridge. True, he did. He further admits that he was wearing jeans and a dark Carhartt jacket. These clothes match the clothes by the individual on the bridge in the photo taken from the video from Liberty German's phone. We really don't know what that guy looked like. I'm sorry. Detective Liggett was also able to corroborate the information that R.A. was at the trails. Yes, that's true. He was near the time. That's interesting. I never noticed that before. Near the time. Now, that's not actually a lie. Richard Allen says he was there from 12 to 1:30. 12 to 1:30. Dan Doolin, when they decided to drag all this up, changed it from 1:30 to 3:30, which puts him there at that time. But by his phone records and geofencing and all of that stuff, guess what? Well, the rest of the geofencing wasn't let in, okay? But there is no proof from that Richard Allen was there. Definitely wasn't at the crime scene. Other people were, but they didn't tell you about that. But they lied so much in the PCA, and I didn't catch that. That is kind of true. Think about it. He was there near the time. He was. If you go from 12 to 1:30, and the girls came at 1:39, 1:40, somewhere around in that is when Kelsey said she dropped him off, and that, you've got the video of her driving by. Supposedly it's her. I mean, I assume it's her. That is near the time. It's not the exact time. It's near. But it's near because he was leaving, so it's not. It is the time that they arrived. Okay. Interesting. I didn't notice that before. Let's see. The picture of the individual on the bridge was captured by investigators from the video. just prior to them being abducted. The individual in that picture matches the description. No, it doesn't at all. We don't even know who that person was. That's all made up. All right, let me look back at what y'all are saying. Could y'all even see that? I don't even know what I was doing. I'm sorry. Did I have that completely messed up? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But you can see what a make up. Okay, I am now 15 minutes behind in your chat, but let me see what's going on. You're talking about the lyric thing. Are you talking about? Oh, okay. All right. Let me try to catch up with what you're saying. You're right, Parawoman Radio. That he never had a chance. Really, we were hoping the jury. I was just talking about Gypsy Rose to somebody else yesterday. Hello, Digital. Did I say hello to you? Good to see you. Yes, that is the big thing. Absolutely, Digital, and something we've all been saying for a couple of years. They put him on trial because now it will be next to impossible to charge anyone else. Wash their hands of the investigation. Yep, that was the whole plan. Like many of us speculate that he was not meant to go to trial, that he was either made to be forced to confess or pass away in jail. But even though they went to trial, they don't care. Now they've got a guilty charge. And I think it would have went this way either way, even if he'd been found innocent. But I believe that they have the perfect opportunity to wash their hands of it and say, we got your guy. If it was overturned or he was found not guilty, whatever, we did our part. And they're never going to. If they wanted to solve this case, in my opinion, this case would have been solved 6-7 years ago. It would have been solved. Because according to the original prosecutor, Robert Ives, who didn't want to testify and didn't testify at the trial, it should have been solved within a week with old-fashioned police work. Right? That's what he said. I believe that he was telling the truth, Robert Ives. I believe that is why he stepped down, because he was like, holy crap, I've got to get, this is dangerous. I need to get out of this position. Some of y'all's comments are so funny. Let me go back to X, though, hold on. There was one or two things I wanted to show you on X. And let me get all this. Let me redo this so we can see it all. I probably just messed that up. Maybe not. It's hard to get this. It's hard to get this going. All right. Oh. Sorry, that is my dog jumping off the couch. Let me see. What was I saying? I'm just trying to get to my stuff. All right. Oh, that's a whole nother can of worms. I'm just telling you, if you follow me on X, I don't talk a lot, but I will probably repost some of the craziest stuff. Interestingly enough, I found this case. I thought I'd look into it. Sean Williams. It sounded pretty interesting, like another rabbit hole. All right. Some things I wanted to remember. This is by 90s Knicks fan 33. This is a quote. There are 3 specific devices in and around the crime scene on 213 between 12:39 and 5:49 p.m., including one device at 3:02 p.m. and one device at 3:27 p.m. at or very near the location within 60 to 100 yards of where the bodies were ultimately found the following day. So, yeah, I would I would say if you're following this, like go on there and download this report. But yeah, uh, the thing of it is, and they give you the locations. All of they don't belong. These phones were not Liberty's, not Libby's phone, and not Richard Allen's phone. So, who are the three people that are in and around the area during this time? Somebody please tell me. And it's not like you can't find out with geofencing. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want you to know. My question is why? Why don't they want you to know? It must have to do with the people and the phones that were down there, right? Because here's the thing. Let's say it was really someone who didn't unalive them. Like maybe it was just somebody else that was walking around. Maybe the bodies weren't there. Maybe the crime didn't happen according to this timeline, so therefore they don't want to bring these people up, and that's actually the best case scenario. The other case scenario is that the perpetrators were down there with the girls at that time. Well, Libby's phone wasn't on, so maybe that's why they turned it off. Maybe they were there with the girls. Maybe they took them somewhere. Maybe not. I don't know. Lots of very good theories about what happened during those hours. But either it was someone that's innocent that could deny, or it's someone that's involved and you don't. I'm sorry, just a second. Mina, stop. She's literally just chasing cats, or she's just looking at the cats out the window. It's a big thing. It's like the most excitement in her life, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, is it someone that is involved, but you don't want to bring it up because you don't want to open that can of worms either? Because either somehow it's going to reflect badly on you or cause a big, big problem, or you're afraid because of who it is? These are all very viable questions. The jury never saw this report. Never heard about the geofencing. Never knew that there were other people at the crime scene during the time they said the crime was committed. And it wasn't R.A. Even if he had been one of, there's still other people out there, right? It was not a lone wolf situation, but it wasn't his phone either. So, and if it was anybody's phone related to him or something like that, or even a burner phone that they could possibly try to pin on him, they would have brought that up. But no, there are specific reasons they do not want us to know who those people were. Yeah. I reposted this because like it's very eye-opening. You can be convicted without evidence. That's fun. Yeah, and then I put this up here. What is she trying to hide? Is it the same thing that the prosecution is trying to hide? We've speculated a lot about corruption, brotherhoods, all that kind of stuff in Indiana, right? All right. Let me catch back up with you. Okay, wait a second. I know I'm far behind. Teresa said Cece Moore offered her help to test all the DNA, and they turned her down. I didn't know that. My, am I shocked? No. No. Not at all. Good question, Digital. Isn't Westfall's military record out there somewhere? It should be. It should be. Then, of course, they never heard about the Anthony Shots things, and I'm not really sure how that plays into it. Had a long conversation with somebody the other day about how it could potentially play into it. But the jury never heard that. All right, let's look at some things before. I just don't want to. I want to make sure that we don't run out of time, and I'm going to get back to your comments. Let me show you this. Not that. Let me change this. All right. This is this is where we can kind of start. And let me oops. Hold on just a second. I gotta take this. Let me throw this in the links for y'all so you can find this. What? Okay, stop. What am I doing? What is this? What is this I'm doing? Hold on. Okay. This is a website called DelphiJustice.com. Well, let me see if I can do this again. There we go. There it's coming up. Sometimes the digital age. All right, so we're going to look at this for just a second. All right, I'm not going to go through all of these things, but why are we campaigning? A quick primer. All right, so if you don't know anything about Justice for Richard Allen, this is a great place. Like, you can copy this, or now it's delphijustice.com/y campaign for Richard Allen. All right, but this goes down the list of things that we've talked about, and we will continue to talk about his innocence. Also, you need to make, if you're telling this to someone, you also need to say it's not just about what was presented in court. It is about procedural unfairness, like they say here. All of the illegal things that should not have been allowed to be suppressed or whatever during the trial that other people get that Richard Allen didn't get, because the defense always can present a third party. Usually, the defense does give an alternative theory for the jurors to think about. They were denied that. So the jurors don't know. That's a big problem. Also, the Miranda rights. There is no proof that the Miranda rights were read to Richard Allen during his conversation with Holman, because as Holman says, oh well, the video, it was on a delay. I read them, just trust me, I read them. He knew. But we don't know. Just like the 70 days of testimony or interviews. Sorry, my hair must be going. My hair's going nuts. Just like those 70 days that they conveniently taped over, right? These are all of the things. So it's not just about the evidence, it's about due process, which affects all of us. So here is, you can go to this website and it says download this primer as a PDF. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's basically that page that we just looked at. This one right here. Share this information on social media, and it gives you links. So yeah, that's why it gives a kind of a breakdown. Certainly not a whole big thing, but enough, I think, to get people looking. And then here is I'm going to put this in the links as well. I'll try, if I have time today, I'm going to try to go back into the description for this video once the live is over, and maybe put these links down there if you don't get them. Make sure you're looking at this. And it's tiny on here. But what this is you can go to this link, and here is a form letter. So you download it into, it's from Google Docs, but it basically, you can fill it out over and over to different officials. It is just like when, if you want to write to somebody and say we want justice, sometimes it's hard for us. Like, you're sitting down, you're thinking, I don't know where to write. Even if I do, what do I say? You know, you want to present something more than, this is, horse pucky. Richard Allen is innocent. So here is kind of a rundown. They give you all of the. Let me make this bigger. Let's see. Can y'all see that better? Maybe a little bit. Let me see if I can increase the size of this. Oops, wrong way. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, so you see, you just put your name, the date, where it's going, dear whoever, and these are all of the reasons. It breaks down things, the due process, all of the things that are the biggest. Okay, there are so many things, so many reasons, but this is trying to get the stuff that would legally, not just, having to do with, geofencing, all that stuff, but due process. That is, we're trying to get this done. Now, also, and people, if you haven't heard it, if you're new, you'll hear people yell Rico, Rico, all through this case, because let me look at this very last one. There is credible evidence that the crimes were done by an organized crime syndicate. Yes, there are. Yes, there are. But I think it's more than one. I think there's a lot of players involved, and that's why this has been covered up. A lot of us think that is a very big deal. Okay, it also says, please read the first Frank's memo submitted by the defense. That is very important for them to know, because if you don't have a copy of the Frank's memo, I'll show you in just a minute where you can get copies of everything. And Lord, have mercy. I hope you've got time, because it's the first Frank's memorandum is 139 pages. I've read every page multiple times, and it is well worth the read. All right, let me see. I think there is one more thing. Let me find it. Let's see, that's the form letter. Let me get this one. And see if we're on the right place. There we go. Here is another. I'll throw this in the links. This is rickallenjustice.com. Another place you can go. All right. And you can subscribe for updates. And this, I think these people are going to probably, keep us updated. There's so many places to update, and I'll show you probably the best one to start. Let me open another tab, like I don't have enough tabs open already in my brain. Let me go to one of my favorite places. Now, you're going to get a lot of flack. You're going to get a lot of, depending on what you can get bullied sometimes on here. But let me try to give you this. And you probably have to make an account if you don't have one. And you can do it anonymously, though. That is how I do mine. I can't even remember. I don't even know till I post something on here what my name is. So I can't even tell you. Hey, that's me. You can talk to me. Let me see. Let me change this. Move this around a little bit. Okay, this is Reddit. If y'all, most people, maybe not most, a lot of people are familiar with Reddit, but there is, I'm trying to get as much in here as I can. Let me pull this over. Well, maybe we can get enough. All right, Reddit. If you go to Reddit, you go to, it's r/Delphi Docs. Let me show you a good, a lot of stuff here. Once you get to Delphi Docs, you have to join, but and they're constantly updating. All right, but you can go to, let me show you the wiki on this. Look at this treasure trove. If you are new and wanting to dive into this case, it has, you'll hear people, when we talk on lives, we'll be throwing initials out there like BW and, BH and PW and like tons, TF, like, and you're like, I don't even know what they're saying. Okay, well, hope you got some time. But they will even tell you what the abbreviations for. When someone is just using or typing in the chat and they're using an abbreviation or just like an acronym, this will help you. It also has all of the links. It has media. Check out this if you've never seen it. The person of interest list over the years. All right? Are you ready? It starts out with AL. And again, if you don't know who AL is, you have to go back and figure out the the abbreviations. But why they are. Look at okay, this is just the first part. Okay, here's some more. Now that's the first one. That's the first list. Now you want the extended Delphi list? Look at here. Look at all of these. See all these people? And there's probably some on there, or that should be on there, that aren't. But again, I'm gonna take it off there. But yeah, that it is a treasure trove. All right, just move with caution on Reddit because you have a lot of trolls that cause a lot of problems. All right, let me go back to what you're saying. So far behind. Let's see. I'm just gonna go forward. I'm sorry, y'all. I just want to catch up. If I didn't say, yes. Hello. How do I don't know how to say that, and I'm gonna say it wrong. So I'm just gonna say A24. What about that? I'm not even gonna try. Goal is Eastern Star, I found out. Yes, she is. I've heard that many, many times. If you don't know what Eastern Star is, it is the female counterpart to Freemasons, which we know a lot of people involved in law enforcement, judges, whatever, and a lot of the persons of interest, and sometimes not just persons of interest, but people who have some real... I'm sorry, it's nuts. Stop it, Mina. Some real stuff, like real connections, real. Okay? Hold on. Just a second. Yeah, a lot of the real people that were named in the Frank's motion also are Freemasons. I'm just going to leave that right where you can look at some old videos I did a year or two ago. You got more people with motive and not just motive, but let's say what's the word? They're more of a person of interest. Okay, there'd be more evidence against so many other people. You could make me believe, I guess, done the right way, some of these people involved, if you had taken evidence that we know is out there on the internet and has been, you could have made me believe that any one of these other players could have been bridge guy, and it still be wrong, and still be wrong, and it still not be the perpetrator, just because there is evidence against other people. Very, not a little tiny figure on a bridge that's so far away nobody knows what you look like or sound like. And that is insanity. There are people with real problems, admitting to being there that day. So there you go. I'm sorry, I'm trying to John Smith, girls had arranged to meet someone. Libby said hi before BG said down the hill. I'm not even sure. I mean, and she may have. I'm not even sure he said down the hill. From what I understand, it was it was impossible to distinguish the words. So, everything was enhanced. Everything was enhanced. Remember when Doug Carter said, "Oh, I can't wait to tell this story. One day I'm going to tell it." Yeah, it's a story because you used NASA, Disney, wasn't it Pixar also? Y'all used all these people to recreate a bridge guy that we don't even know. Okay? We don't even know if that bridge guy was the perpetrator. We don't know who that was at the end of the bridge. It literally could have been someone there just taking pictures, just, walked a few feet on it and left. And, any random guy from Indiana or anywhere else. It could have been anyone, any guy at the end of the bridge. But no, you have interpolated, used AI to recreate whatever in the heck you wanted to create. And then you have the audacity after all this time to say, it was really kind of fake. This really wasn't what we said it was. Oh, and don't look at the sketches. I mean, I would be outraged. Let's see. Say what? At Crime Night Part 1, Part 2, please listen to his YouTube. I'm not sure which episode you're talking about. I love Joe Lewis. I always have. Joe Lewis is awesome. I've listened to tons and tons of his stuff, but I don't know what you're referring to in that one. I'll try to look it up. I actually haven't heard from Joe in a day or two as far as seeing a video come up. It could just be me because I haven't had a lot of time. Yes, 100%. It is not discussion time. It is action time. Yes, that is why I gave you all that information. And somebody tell me, like, if you want to put a timestamp, I'll try to find in this live where all that information is. I'm going to put the links down below because this is what we have to do. We have to take action and educate. Y'all, I don't know if y'all understand how many people are just now coming into this case, not because they ever thought Richard Allen was innocent until the trial. And then they're like, my gosh, if this guy can be sent away for life on such flimsy evidence, then what can happen to me? This is not justice. And so I want to not only provide, okay, this is what we do now, sign up for the newsletter, like anything that you can so we can get those updates. But also remember this, a lot of people don't know what we know just because we've been, headlong into it for forever, it seems like. John Smith, there were lots of people on and around the bridge. The girls could have said no to down the hill, but they went willingly by arrangement. Yeah, very possible because, we still do have the Anthony Shots factor, although they pushed that out, and why they did, I don't know. I don't know. Aries, good morning, Aries. I am not sure which one we'll have to go back to see if y'all will remember. There was a motorcycle rally right after Abby and Libby's passing away. Lots of theories about what that meant. But there was how many people? 300? At least 300 riders for that. And I think they were comprised of different clubs, or was it just one club? I'm not sure. Nancy H. Michael Osbrook is already gathering evidence of the white van being on social media before the confessions. Michael did the Supreme Court of Indiana opinion for Roseanne Baldwin. Good. I've seen it so many places. People like, hello. And I may have heard it. It's one of 1 million pieces of Delphi that if you don't have a direct connection, I have heard tons of times. Okay, let's stop with the white van for a second. I have heard about a white van forever, not necessarily connected to Brad Weber. I heard that there was a bug man out there with a white van, right? Somebody doing pest control. Have y'all heard that? I've also heard something about a local minister and a white van out there. White van is not brand new information. I did not even remember Brad Weber and his white van. Remember the other night on Prof when we did our panel, Brad Weber married to, I can't remember her first name was it Teresa? Anyway, Brad Weber got a marriage license to marry a Westfall. So, there's that. Tom Thomas. Somebody needs to put a file together breaking down all the evidence since day one and testimony from the Franks. Break everything down and forward it to every judge, congressman, governor, and FBI. I agree. Tom, here's the thing. The FBI already had another suspect. The FBI already named Ron Logan, who has now passed away. May or may not have had anything to do with it. They did have evidence against him. The other, was it ISP? Who was it? Okay, Ferenczi, y'all Click and Ferenczi, were they ISP or FBI? I cannot remember. I think they were ISP. They had a whole list. They had the whole crime figured out. Not Richard Allen. This is back in the beginning, before one of them was unalived in cold blood in front of their office, front of the police station. So yeah, we should. The thing is the FBI gonna listen? I don't know. Is the governor gonna listen? I don't know. There are many questions I have about the higher ups in Indiana as well. But absolutely, I mean, I think you should. Most of the stuff can be put, if you will look in, oh my gosh. Is it All Eyes on Delphi that has a lot of the Google, I can't say it, Google Docs? It might be. There's a ton of them. There's a ton of resources. Reddit, Delphi Docs. There are some other Reddit or subreddits that have some information, but Delphi Docs is probably the most comprehensive. But yes, we do. We need to compile a lot. Actually, you could probably link a whole lot just pulling from those places. Let's see. Let me catch up. I'm sorry, because I'm going to have to stop this in about 10 minutes. So, I want to get to all of your stuff. Yes, Tom, take out all the speculations and theories. Simply put in all the facts and statements. This needs to be overturned ASAP because an innocent man is in prison. Yeah, and what I was going to say earlier is, according to Andrea Burkhart, just supposing, okay, we don't know. She said it would be about normal for an appellate court to take 2 years to look at this. And I mean, do we really want to have Richard Allen in there for 2 years at the mercy of the IDOC? I don't think so. Um, so yeah, I think if we jump in our voice all at once and we do something, um, and we make a strong front, hopefully the appellate court will look at it sooner rather than later. Um, uh, yeah. So I'm so very annoyed. I need direction. Okay. All right. Let me put these. Let me go back to my email because I emailed this to myself. Let me put up these links again. Say what? Let's see. I'm just copying links to throw in chat. And I will put them out. It might be later today when I get back from where I'm going. Here's also a form letter. I'm sorry. Mina, hush. Here's a form letter to make it so easy, just to make your initial voice be heard, Just protest, send it to all of these places. And let me do one more. This one is Justice for Rick Allen. Sorry, everything's going on. I knew this would happen. Here's another link to sign up so you can get all of the information that we all have to keep updated. That's the main thing, is we all have to be organized and updated. Hope everything is in there. All right, if not, and then like I say, go to Delphi Docs. Did that all get there? All right. I'm sorry if I'm passing up some of the stuff you say. I'm sorry. Stephanie, hello Stephanie. And why the pic of Abby on the bridge where she looks like her feet are floating? Exactly. And somebody please tell me why. I'll put this up here too. Hello Keith Kellogg. I haven't seen you in a hot second. Yeah, I probably will get heat, but you know what? Whatever. I always get it. It could be worse. I could be in jail for a crime I didn't commit, with no hope. So at least I'm here catching flack. Ninja Warrior Assassin, good to see ya. All right. Hold on, let me see what's going on. Uh-oh. Okay, I am going to have to shut this stream down. I thought I had to be somewhere at 1. I have to be there at 12:30. And it's 12:17 my time. All right. We'll talk about this again real soon, maybe tomorrow. I've got tons of stuff going on, but I'll catch up with you as soon as possible. Let me try to get some stuff all up in a row and in a bundle. In the meantime, y'all sign up for those things, those newsletters, or at least go to the websites. Keep up with X, keep up with Delphi Docs on Reddit. And we're just starting. We're just starting this fight. I appreciate you all. Love you so much. And I hope you have a great day. I'll see you soon. Stay safe. Whatever you do, stay silky. Bye.